Hi, welcome to Are You Sure? We're back after a technical mishap of spectacular proportions occurred. Um, we're here now. I am Kyle, the DM for the evening. Why don't we go around and just everybody introduce who you are, and we can begin from there. Start with Ruth.
I am Ruth, sometimes known as the Crone, and in this game I am playing a desert warrior woman known as Tsunya. She's got tan skin and long black hair and is very dedicated to a Saint Gonzalo.
And where is Sunya at the moment? Where did we leave off with her?
She is wandering on patrol in the village after taking the opportunity to make some money on this, and they have been hearing some sounds in the forest.
That's right. So previously, all of you had arrived at the village of Cairnhold in a remote region from the closest major city called the Crossroads. And you had all arrived, and some of you had some connections to each other previously, but only a few of you are very close together. And after volunteering to help the priestess of Caris, Soraya, acquire some medicine from the Grimshaws, some of you volunteered, some of you wanted some coin, and some of you were conscripted into it. And you went into the woods, and things immediately seemed off. You were detecting necromantic energies, and the rocks started to stab your feet, and you were hearing laughter off in the distance, and you eventually came to a clearing that had the herbs that you needed. However, it was under guard, and eventually the Witch of the Woods that owned the garden arrived, and thanks to a quick storytelling by your sorceress, you were delayed enough to grab some of the medicine and return back to the town while being chased by some spectral wolf entities that seemed to be under the control of the witch. You return back to the inn, and Dane and the priestess spent most of the night saving the man's life, and over the course of the next day, you investigated more in the town, and you discovered that the witch had been manipulating this young man who was abusing his family, and he has since been taken into the care of the priestess, and Dahlia and she have been working with the boy to try to pull him away from that corruption. Meanwhile, Marty and Tsunya went to the actual keep of Cairnhold and spoke with Wilcas Cairn himself, and you agreed to work the night shift, which is the best paying job in town that no one takes because bad things happen in Cairnhold at night. And we pick up about middle of the day before your first shift.
A town with such marvelous sights as a graveyard, a castle, and an inn. No, bad stuff doesn't happen at night.
Never. Dane, what do you look like, and what are you?
Dane, yes, that's me. I'm Kevin, I suppose. Most people will probably call me Wake. Just get used to that. Dane is a dress, in this case, kind of human, sort of paler skin, red hair, cut short, glasses, kind of a long coat with a couple of swords on it. At the start of this night shift for the watch, he's got a lantern, short sword kind of more available than he usually does, and he's sort of unsure as to why he's going to be keeping watch in the first place, other than the rest of this group seems to need a keen eye.
Right, and typically not far off from Dane is his sister.
His twin sister. I'm Abby. You may also hear me referred to as Queen. Don't worry, it doesn't go to my head. And I will be playing Dahlia, our Phoenix Sorcerer. She is Dane's twin sister. Reddish brown, very curly hair with lots of reagents throughout it, because why not? She also wears glasses, and if a store's knitwear section could be a person, that would be her, basically. And as she's getting ready for the night watch, she's drinking apple juice out of a straw.
And also at the Shrine of Curious, looks like still is Stannis.
That would be me. I'm Brett, also go by the name of Gore, and on the Sunday game, Dirok. But tonight, I am Stannis in Rurikistelis. I am a dwarf cleric of the mighty Osvatar. And currently, what I'm doing is marking houses, because we learned of a kind of a draconic marking that this witch has told her underlings before to not go near these houses. So I'm going around the other houses to make sure that these houses are also similarly marked.
I believe your plan was to mark the inhabited houses, but leave the empty houses as deep.
Yeah, and I think the other plan was to also like maybe have us like be in one of these empty houses to ambush whoever is attacking.
Yeah, I believe that's why we had this red square over on this section of the town here.
Yes. Oh, by the way. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, by the way, I also have a traveling companion, Arshkul, who is not with us tonight, so...
He may show up late.
At least not yet.
He may show up late. At the moment, we'll just consider him patrolling other areas of the town. Marty, what are you up?
So Marty is a human warlock of the Fiend, and is run by myself, Mike, who also runs Vlad in the Sunday game. He has some longer black hair, that's a little bit greasy, is a little dirty overall, but his big words and over-the-top kind of approach to talking to people tend to break through that crusty exterior very quickly. He is... You said this is the middle of the day before the night shift, right?
Yeah, it's about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so you guys have some preparation time.
Marty is currently sleeping.
Okay.
Hey, laughing at a good night's rest really isn't the best way to put it. Certainly gotta be needed if we're gonna be staying up late tonight.
Yeah, so who is... so Stannis, you're doing preparation around the town. Is anybody else doing preparation around the town, or are you mostly resting up to be awake?
Sunya would scout out the town.
So we're going to be setting a trap, was the idea, within the red box?
Sunya would scout out the town to see how the defenses were set up, because that would be her prime thing. She'd start to look for best places to get cover and so forth. But she would also make sure that she had gotten at least 4 hours of sleep in preparation for the night shift.
Okay. So, 2 things. Stannis, I'm going to need you to give me a rune marking check. So give me an intelligence check. I'm going to say you have proficiency in it because you are a dwarf.
Alrighty.
So just give me intelligence, and then we'll add 2.
Intelligence, not saving, right?
Yeah, just intelligence check, and then we'll add 2 to it. All right. Yeah, this is entirely your wheelhouse, is making runes and then being dragon related, because Ausfatar is a dragon god. So you make the 3 lines, one in the middle, which is larger, and then the 2 smaller on either side.
That was something I wanted to ask. Isn't that also Ausfatar's symbol, you said?
In some respects, Ausfatar's symbol looks like a golden dragon's eye with 3 white lines radiating down from it.
But they're not different in sizes.
They're not different in sizes, no.
Okay.
This one is specifically known as the dragon rune for the concept of something overhead. So it's used for flying, ignoring, passing over, travel.
Yep.
Like it has a lot of different meaning.
Yeah, the one I remembered was overhead.
Yeah, that was the main one. And then Sunya, could you give me an investigation check, please?
1 second. Let me get my sheet up here. I wasn't expecting it quite so soon.
Yep. And then there is a technical question in the chat.
Yeah, the overlay is still just...
I have the overlay just our pictures, because we're
Yep.
still waiting to see if Arshikul is going to join us. So I'm starting to change pictures a little bit as I can, but things, be aware that Discord changes positions and everything. So I tend to hold back onto the avatars for a bit. Hold on just a moment. I'm trying to do a lot of things at once here. It was investigation check, you said.
Still working bugs out. Okay. Nobody really wants to talk to you as you're exploring sort of these outer satellite veins coming off of the central road of the town. Everybody in Cairnhold is still rather suspicious of the group of you collectively, because you just showed up in town a couple days ago and then went into the woods and came back, and as you guys were running back, there was a bunch of howling.
It wasn't related to us at all, but people have their own misconceptions.
Yeah. Travelers aren't well received in Cairnhold, but it's a good place to disappear. All right.
Boy, you're just not making a good enough effort than talking.
If we're
going to go investigate the other parts of the town, says Arshkul as he gathers his things. Stannis,
no killing anyone.
And then he goes off to do what Arshkul is going to do.
Stannis, I think we need to have a conversation about Arashkul. Just saying.
He's an interesting fellow, isn't he?
Why does he need to be reminded to not kill anybody?
Well, we happened to be in a bit of trouble when we first came in to here burying a body and all. You know how it is, right?
No, actually, I don't really know how that is.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, you don't run into that problem all the time?
No, not really, no.
Oh, well, we happen to be beset by a bandit that thought he could take the 2 of us, and he learned the hard way that he couldn't, and so we thought it right to go and bury him in the graveyard.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, don't you do that? You go and bury bodies in the graveyards too? I figured you humans would be doing this kind of stuff too. That's why you have graveyards.
No, that's usually, I mean, usually religious folk do that. Not that I'm irreligious, you
Well, I
know.
mean, that's what we
No.
are. I mean, I'm a cleric and he be a cleric. We be opposite spectrums of the, you know, the men of the cloth, but we be very religious.
Well, I mean, more, I mean, people who are specifically religious, not, because I'm not a person of the cloth. I'm a person who sets things on fire, and Dane's a doctor, and
Oh,
I
right,
mean,
I heard about that. You have that fancy sheet of paper that says you can heal better than me, can ya? And I'm
well,
starting
I
to get a
mean,
little confrontational now.
he's mostly a doctor.
I don't have a fancy sheet of paper or anything. I
He
just
could.
know how the healing arts work. That's it.
He totally could, though.
He could totally be better than me at healing, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
We're not
you
gonna
want to
like
set
each
up
other, I
an
think.
ambush, right? Why don't we focus some energy on that? So I've got a little bit of rope, some other tools.
Well,
What do you want to do?
I figured I'd just go and start bashing some heads in once they, started trouncing through town.
That's not really a plan, Stannis.
I mean,
It works all the time over in Dallascan. What are you talking about?
by the barest definition, it is a plan, but it's not a very good one.
In Dallascan, do you
Oh,
have
we
an
are
entire
definitely not going to
unit
be friends.
of dwarves that fight with you, or a unit of cadre that fight with
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Over in Thaliscan, do you have an entire unit of cadre that fight with you, or an entire unit of dwarves?
Well, actually, I don't even remember where I was stationed last, but no, we normally don't venture out too much together. Only when we're, stationed in certain areas.
Then let me be a little bit more clear with you. I've read up on small unit tactics. We've got yourself, Zunya, we're frontline fighters, and maybe a Rashkul if we can trust him not to swing wildly and
Well,
collect
not-
one for his god.
he's not gonna attack any of us or you. He's going to go and attack whoever is a threat to him.
My sister and I are not really combatants. She has magic, and I can defend myself. But we should probably think up some kind of plan if these things are going to be attacking them.
Well, I do have a plan.
If you say that it's going to be walking... Oh,
I grab my hammer, and I bash their heads in.
Maybe we should just plan for where this ambush is going to take place. That way we can focus our attacks specifically in that area, and we don't have to worry about, anybody getting caught up in the crossfire.
Well, I do notice that there be some houses down in that area, and I'm pointing to the area in the red square, are mostly uninhabited and inhabited. People don't live in that area.
inhabited.
That's easy for you to say.
But,
Are they... This is going to be a weird question. Are they made of stone?
Most of the houses in here are they're sort of mud brick, wood, and thatch, sort of like what you would see in early frontier rural.
Are there
Thatch
stone
is enough
walls?
to burn.
Yeah,
Are there
they're
stone
yeah
walls
the
or
tree
anything?
the houses look rather flammable.
Are
the
there
Baying
stone
Wolf
walls
Inn,
or anything that would be less flammable?
It looks like there's a river over here.
Yeah, the river is the least flammable thing here.
Oh boy!
The shrine of Curies has some stonework in it, but for the most part, there's a lot of wood on the interior and it's very open. The Baying Wolf Inn is made of brick and wood, and as is Willoughby's, and Cairn's Hold is a 3-story stone tower keep.
How strong are you, Stannis? And how strong Zunya,
I mean, I'd be a dwarf. I'd be all stout and whatnot. But looking
What,
at
you
Sunya,
want-
I'm thinking
You
she's
want us
probably a bit
to
stronger
arm
than me.
wrestle or something? How do you mean?
I mean, if
You
you're going
could!
to have them lured in towards that area, the houses are just like maybe a little bit of brick and mud. We could throw down, make the thatch fall on top of them, and light up the thatch. I've got rope, climbing pythons, and a couple of pickaxes.
Wow, how
I've got fire.
How flammable is the thatch here, or do we need something to start?
It would just
It would
a firebolt hit to it would cause it to go up. Pretty
Okay.
Yeah, Sunya is not happy when she finds very little stone. She's looking.
Yeah, there's
around,
not a lot of stone.
Continues to look for like a wall where they've stacked up some stones or anything. She does not like the defenses so far.
Yeah, the defenses here are very few. There's not even a wall around the keep. It's just sort of on a hill. That's why there's that winding path kind of going up to it. But yeah, there's the intention was to the town originally seemed to be more. It was just a logging farming community that just has cleared away the trees up till this point.
So we're at the Grimshaws. They never really got a lot of the lumber out of here, I would wager. Is there a couple stacks of lumber lying around?
Yeah, it looks like the logging here actually really only lasted a few weeks. They hired a bunch of people, they did some logging, and once they got to this point, actually, can you give me a perception or investigation check, your choice?
My favorite.
Because depending on what you use will depend on what you find.
Dane's more methodical. Even though my perception's higher, I'm going to take investigate.
Okay. So probably the strangest thing is the new tree line. So where the stumps and pieces of logging equipment that you find are kind of scattered haphazardly around the general area where you see the stumps on the map, where the stumps end seems to be like a kind of a straight line. You can see a clear delineation between where the trees had been cut versus where none of the trees had been cut.
Like everything stopped literally all at once, and then all the trees that were about to be cut down grew back.
Yeah, they either grew back or they just something happened to prevent them from logging past this sort of unseen border.
So we got some lumber lying around. We could set up a couple of defenses around those buildings, mark the rest of them with that rune you're talking, and then they'll be lured into there, and then we can spring the trap on them at that point if you want, or we can use it to set up some defenses towards the hold, or maybe out by the inn and try to keep those locations safe. But I don't think we're going to have a good shot if there's a giant crowd of people against
Dane, do you
5.5 defenders.
Dane, do you have a feel for what direction they will be coming?
Why would I have a feel for what direction they're coming
Do you
from?
have any estimate? Do you think they will come directly out of the woods or come around? If it is the witch herself, she will bring them straight out of the woods. And we could use the graveyard and the hold itself as defenses. There is just nothing here that cannot catch on fire, even if we put up logs.
What is it that we were defending against again?
Kobolds, the witch she is angering the kobolds.
So it was kobolds, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
You've been hearing one of the reasons of the few people that you'd interacted with in town. Most of them were citing kobold raids as the reason why they left, and actually, particularly for you, Stannis, I'm not even going to have you roll just because of your background.
Mm-hmm.
Kobold raids are not two words that go together. Kobolds do not raid; they will sneak in and steal. They will prank people, but they are, by definition, like, the reason that they exist is that they were dragons that were too afraid to take a side in an ancient conflict. So the fact that they are bold, that these kobolds are bold enough to be raiding, is either one, something happened to them, or they're not kobolds. It's one of the two. But there's either some very good reason why they're being so aggressive, or they're being misidentified.
Okay. I'll relay that information then. That yeah, this really doesn't sound like kobolds if these raids are true, because kobolds are fearful creatures. They don't tend to go in groups like this and be so bold and aggressive. They normally just, go in, play a prank, and get out of there quick and fast. So
I wonder if our witch is influencing them a lot more than we realize. I mean, she's obviously responsible for it, but I wonder if there's even more to it.
After
Kobolds
seeing what went on
playing
with that boy,
pranks.
I would think that she is either terrifying them or has them under some kind of spell. I have never fought kobolds in the desert.
once we get to them, I could try another kind of trick, seeing as kobolds may be perceptive to draconic. I do know a bit of draconic, and I can make myself louder than I need to be with thaumaturgy.
So
I can make myself look like a phoenix, but again, fire.
So just to run this by here, we're going to intimidate the kobolds into running away. You think that the 5.5 of us are going to be a good shot again?
Well, that's if they're even kobolds to begin with.
I don't know that
it could be something else.
I don't know that we necessarily want them to run away completely so much as we want to capture at least one so we can figure out what is going on. Why are they doing this? Why are they actually doing this raiding thing, which is so weird?
Aye.
Well, I got some rope if we want to put a couple of walls around the entrance to the inn or the backside of the inn. If they're going to come from the Grimshaws, they should probably keep that safe place, since it's going to be where probably most of the people who don't have permanent residence around here are going to be.
I would recommend...
Kieran's Hold's pretty defensible.
I would recommend that as much as possible we try to draw them towards the graveyard and the hold. These people couldn't, if they have anything, torches, anything, these thatched buildings are going to go up like that.
So where would you like to set up your... where would you like to set up for your in preparation for...
Sunya would
Is there any way we could...
in that area?
I mean, if these buildings are not inhabited, is it possible that we could dig a good ditch around them and just make sure that the fire doesn't leap? I mean, I don't need to use my fire, but I'll be completely useless without it.
This is why I want to take us away from the thatch altogether. In 4 hours or so, I do not see how we can possibly build that much of a defense.
Sunya and Stannis, you're probably the most combat experienced. Based on what you know of these materials, and you would know that just having fire around them wouldn't be enough to cause it. It would need to be it need to be a direct hit, essentially.
Sunya is afraid that the kobolds will be throwing torches.
Yeah, that's a legitimate concern to have. The one thing that you didn't notice in the town is you noticed that there are a lot of abandoned houses, but you didn't notice any burnt husk of houses. So what I'm saying is you haven't noticed that there are any houses or foundations of houses that look like the house had been burned down.
So she might
So-
have a suspicion that fire has not been used in previous attacks.
Yeah, it'd be reasonable to assume that even if the kobolds bring torches or have some fire ability, and you would know, Stannis, that
Well-
kobolds really don't like light all that.
Okay. I got
yeah.
2 questions then.
Sure.
One, is this a new day? Did I get new spells, or am I still on my old spells?
I would say you've had a long rest, so if you want to switch out your prepared
Right.
spells, you
I'll
can
do
go
that.
ahead and do that.
I'll do that quick. Then the second question, I know that we asked and we know that the kobolds are raiding. Did we ever ask what it was they did? Because I don't quite remember that.
What do you mean?
Like,
what?
Did they steal stuff? Did they break stuff?
Yeah. If you, Soraya would be pretty forthcoming. She would say that they would come in, one or two would like bust open a door, and then they would just grab whatever they could that was with arm's reach and then leave. It's very, very rapid, kind of grab odds and ends and then bolt, sort of a thing. And most of the people, they started putting up a fight, but over time it just became so frequent that they would just essentially they just started leaving money near the door.
Okay.
Just so that the kobolds would grab it and then just go.
Okay.
So they would like leave their pocket change. There's just they would just leave pocket change by the door essentially. So it would just be grabbed.
All right.
There's been pocket change just lying around all over the place.
Just as you've been like the only place that you would have noticed it, the only house that you've been inside was Gerald's house, and you were occupied at the time. So where
Thank you,
would
manservant.
where would you like to set up your preparation?
I'm thinking that with Zunya and Stannis kind of saying we should keep it over towards the graveyard in Karen's Hold, we should put some of the logging down, try to use it as like a short wall and kind of barricade off the road coming from north of Karen's, so they have to go around to the front of it and then keep it kind of directed towards the graveyard and the inn. That's if they come from that direction, but... also, I'm going to swing by Willoughby's and see if they have like a light crossbow and a case of bolts or something, because I just have swords and daggers and a pickaxe at this point.
So I had a request to give the player's handbook, and I have way too many.
Y'all ought to see the pile he has on his desk. It's great.
Yeah, we all have
All right.
way too many books.
So as you you head over to Willoughby.
When Marty wakes up, he'll also go to Willoughby's and buy a 10-foot ladder.
So as you make your way over to Willoughby's, you go there. There's no answer. Like the door is shut.
Okay, so he must have bailed. Alright. Well, I'm not gonna steal myself a crossbow. I'll head to the hold and see if they have a short bow or something.
Oh,
instead.
hold on. I think I have something like that. I could let you borrow.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have a light crossbow with 20 crossbow bolts if you need to borrow it.
It's
Or
gonna
do
do
you
me
know?
better at a distance than a dagger will, at least. So.
Yeah, so
Marty
I'll
also has a light crossbow and 20 bolts.
Tsunya is longbow equipped.
well, or, we could also go to mine and Narshkul's newest friend, Nialos, the guardsman. We could see if he has any armaments that could probably help us in this.
So you wanna head up to where
I
the
think we'll be
guards are?
fine with just having 20 with having about 20 bolts for now. If you want to bother the town guard for more crud, I ain't gonna stop you, but I don't think they're too inclined to help. They're getting along just as they are right now. I mean, we don't have to defend this place, but it's probably better if you take care of it now.
We definitely do have to defend this place, because if no one else is going to defend it, then who will? I know you'd be here for coin and, getting paid and whatnot, but what's good money if you don't do a good deed for it?
It's not that I don't think that these people need help. I think they're getting fine and by with the kobold raids as they are if they're just dumping a couple of jacks for the safety of a village isn't anything. If we defend this, then we may end up causing more trouble than it's worth.
And what happens when they start losing all their money? And then the kobolds decide that they want to take a bit more than the money.
The witch has
I think the concern
that she is trying to take over the minds of those who are weaker. What does she have in mind? I think she is trying to take over this village.
We got to put a stop to it.
I mean, that's a reason to stop it, sure.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. So, what are the defenses that you are setting up?
Little walls, at least like 3 piles of lumber or so up, so that the kobolds have to climb over it. That's probably all that we have time for, since we only have a couple of hours. We could lasso a couple of those together and kind of funnel them if they're coming from the north towards the front side of Karen's Hold and the inn.
Yeah, it has to be either it can really only be the west. So it has to be the Grimshaws or the fields to the west, because to the south of us is a river, to the north of us is a river.
Yeah, so my thought is do something. I'm going to draw on the map here, put down some walls like here or so, and try to funnel them along here if they're coming from the north. If they come from the south, we'll have a Rosh cool down there to call it out, and we can rotate down there and start intimidating.
Okay, so you're trying to get them to funnel this direction?
And
something like this.
If they come from the south end of the forest, let's do something to try and make them chase us up to where we are better prepared.
Yeah, sure. We could get somebody who's fast enough to lure them up there.
Oh, you don't want me. I'd be slow.
Hey, I can fire arrows and make them chase after me.
Sure, we could set up some trip ropes too if you want. I got climbing.
That is an excellent idea, Dan. Yes, set up some trip ropes.
Here, let's see if I have anything. I forgot to check what my pack has.
Oh yeah, your starting pack gear is not to be underestimated. You get some really nice stuff in there. Pythons in general are so versatile. You can use them when you don't think you have another weapon. Just stab somebody in the eye, for instance. But to that regard, I'm going to take some sections of rope, and I'm going to kind of run some rope along the bottom section. I'm going to draw those on with a blue line, like here.
Sunya offers her rope
and
as
here.
well if you need it.
I have
Just
50
enough to set up 2 systems, and then Dane will kind of rig a quick pull section that he can use from here to quickly snap them up and get them taut so somebody will fall.
We won't need torches or anything, would we?
I mean, it's going to get dark. So those of you who can see at night probably don't need it.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm asking if we need torches. I'm not going to need to see it or use them, but we have everyone else that isn't me or Arshcool needs to have some kind of sight.
Yeah, this is the most humans I've seen in a D&D party since first edition.
Seriously.
So yeah, if we need torches, I have 10 of them.
I got some torches. Yeah, we'll set up some light as well. Just kind of near the houses, enough to get ourselves some general light. Well, I've got a lantern that I'm going to keep at my hip.
Okay.
Let me.
And then, yeah, Dane's going to be over here for part of it, since he can't see in the dark past a couple of feet. So he'll just be ready on the trip ropes if needed and have a crossbow.
All right.
Sunya will put herself like halfway in between the southern route and the northern route so she can see both and determine which way they're coming from and move to intercept whatever way they are going.
Okay. What are these blue lines that got drawn?
Those are the trip ropes. Dan's going to connect some pythons and then kind of run a rope along there. He's going to stay there until he hears Zunya run past and then tug those to trip over kobolds if they're coming. Kind of lure them and keep them more towards it. I also think that we should probably put some lumber on the front of the bridge so they're stuck on this side of the water if possible. But we might not have time to put all of the stuff up that we want to do.
Yeah, they're like, a lot of the lumber, like the lumber that you have marked on the board right now, is pretty much the spare lumber that you found. The rest of it seems to have already been taken off to Cairnhole to
Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is about more than Dane expected to have as a plan anyway.
Yeah,
so
it takes until about 6 o'clock, and the sun starts to set. In the direction of the Grimshaw, you can see that the light is starting to fade as the sun begins to set behind the foot. And you're seeing probably the most activity you've seen in the town in a while, as everybody who is in the Baying Wolf Inn begins to leave, and they all start filtering back to their houses. And you can see the innkeep, halfling Votan, start to close up the windows, and you hear them locking behind. And just before he shuts the front door to the inn, he tosses a small bag of coins out, and he just shuts the door, and you hear as he bolts everything up.
Oh, that's not ominous at all.
This is more regular than I expected. I thought that from what they were talking and the way the witch was acting, that this was going to be something more unusual, but apparently these small attacks happen all the time.
And
it's not going to be a small attack. There's going to be 4 dragons flying overhead, raining fire and brimstone.
And as you are making your preparations, you see the head of Wilkes Cairn's guard, Boris, who you recognize, Stannis, as the fellow who
The captain.
conscripted you and
Arshkul,
yeah. He comes in and he starts taking a look at everything, and he goes, "This is pretty decent. So, what entirely is your plan? You plan to funnel them into a place where you can slaughter them all, yes?"
The plan is, I'm going to take this hammer here, I'm going to bash their heads in.
I understand that is your plan.
My plan, yes, is to try and direct them where we are better protected from them. And then we will do as much ranged as we can, and then we will take them on when they come.
I wish you luck with that. I do have one recommendation, though. The leader of these kobolds. Do not look him in the eye. I used to have 6 guards.
The leader
What
is
happened?
not a kobold?
What?
Do not look their leader, Korbeck Half-Eaten, in the eye.
Half-eaten?
Yes.
Who ate him?
I do not know. I just know that he rides on the back of some strange lizard, and Is that an Arshkul?
Yes.
All right. I just know that he rides
Oh,
on the
God.
back of some strange lizard, and anyone who faces him, if they try to face him down, they become turned to stone and dragged off into the.
That's
He's a basilisk of some kind.
I do not
He-
know what this creature that you're speaking of is, but I just know what happened to poor Mark.
Right.
He may be riding a basilisk. The leader might still be kobold, though.
Well, let's just be careful, not die. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. And around this time, Arshkul, are you
He's in chat right now. He might not be set
ready?
up yet.
Okay. Well,
What do you need?
Arshkul, you are coming back from your rounds inspecting the other parts of the town. Most of the people seem to live close to the town square center near Willoughby's and the inn. What does Arshkul look like as he approaches the rest of the group?
Heavily built orc, garbed in medium steel mail armor. He has a large, rather plain oaken shield, and he carries no weapons aside from a curved, jagged knife. His skin, what is visible, is rather black, and he has several ornate white tattoos that spiral across his face and down his arms, and so on and so forth. What little hair he has is equally white, tied back and going down the course of his back with in a long braid with several ribbons, I suppose, or small ropes tying it off.
All right. So you all kind of have your plan to use wooden tripwires to sort of funnel the kobolds into a particular area. Is there any place in particular you're trying to funnel them to?
Where the logs are as much as possible. She's hoping to guide them
So kind of
around.
into this kill zone here.
Yeah, either whichever way we've set it up to do it, she will try to use the logs as a defense and these heavier buildings and the graveyard stones and so forth as defense. Trying to group them into one area away from the houses.
All right, yeah, yeah. The gravestone, the graveyard is, it does have somewhat of a like a grating to it. It's like a little wooden fence. It's not really anything, but it is a physical.
All right, so this is our master plan. Okay, let's get set up. If we run into something that's too dangerous for us, we ain't gonna stand and die. All right.
Well, I wish you luck, Boris says, and he inclines his head and just says,
You know what could do better than luck is if you have any extra armaments that could possibly aid us.
Such as a ballista, a catapult. Do you have siege weapons in this town?
oh my god.
No, we're a logging community.
You have plenty of wood. Use it to build a trebuchet.
You know, I could probably.
I'm not.
build a
You know what?
trebuchet
I'm
if
not
we had
talking
enough
to
room.
you. It's been 2 days. This is the second conversation we've had. I'm not talking to you.
Okay,
and he
you
looks-
could.
he looks at the
We
other group.
can be.
I'm not
reasonable.
talking. No, not you either.
We only had one conversation together.
Is there someone who did not try to force their way into town and bury a random corpse into town in the night?
Forced their way to
Oh,
town.
me.
We came in with welcome arms.
He is
Dahlia,
prejudiced.
please.
Dahlia,
Prejudiced against men of faith.
Dahlia raises her hand like she's in school and says, "You haven't talked to me yet."
All right, you seem decent. All right.
Hi.
You have not met her. She's as bad, as wonderful as I am.
If your group needs extra armaments, we can spare a few bolts. arrows. We could loan you weapons for the evening if required, but I'm afraid we're rather short-staffed ourselves at the moment.
Dane, you were looking for a crossbolt, right? Do
I
you
got
have one of
from
those?
the dwarf.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Dennis.
does anybody else need some?
Out of curiosity, what will your rather rude guards be doing during this time?
We'll be doing what we were hired to do.
Well, not all of them are rude. Nihilus is a very, very well charitable folk.
Nihilus I liked. I would like to reap him one day, but for now...
Are we
Can we not talk about reaping?
All right, we're done with this conversation. Thank you, Boris. I appreciate your assistance and your willingness to help us. I apologize.
When we survive the night, I'll be talking to your boss about
I will.
blatant racism against dwarves and orcs.
I will say this. We won't. There's not much else I can do, but I can do this. And he goes over to Dane and he hands him a small red vial. And you recognize a basic healing potion. I know it's not much, but it's what I can spare at the moment.
Dane hands that to. No, Dane holds on to it, and thank you very much. We'll make sure it gets to good use if it's needed. Hopefully, we won't need it.
If you don't use that, though, I'd appreciate that if you pass that on to Soraya so that she can store it for anybody that comes to the temple needed.
I think we can manage that. Thank you, Boris.
For myself, I would very much appreciate some of those arrows that you mentioned.
All right. And he whistles, and he kind of whistles back up to the keep, and a while later, Nyalos comes down and offers Tsunya about 20 arrows. So a case of arrows, basically.
She thanks him very much.
Remember what I said about their leader. Happy hunting.
So guys, I got something to say. If everyone can make sure that they're like 5 feet away from me or so, I think I can end this without anybody getting hurt.
Excluding the kobolds, I hope. You will be harming them.
Dahlia, please be careful.
Well, I am being careful. I'm always careful. I'm always super, super careful because I don't want to set things on fire on purpose. But
I do want to try talking with them first before we do start laying waste.
In case
I do approve of you using your fire upon them, but I want to see if I can't intimidate them first.
It's not so much that they're kobolds. Like, I'm not so much concerned with preserving their lives. No offense or anything, but...
I'm not worried about preserving their lives either. I want them to not attack us anymore.
Yeah, I feel like there's...
go with the witch anymore either.
I feel like there's more to their story, and if we just go in and kill them all like super, super fast, that might be a problem, and we won't be able to find out what's going on. So, can we try scaring them first?
That's what I was gonna try to do.
See, I'm not that bad, am I?
Okay, let's.
You can speak Dracona too, don't you?
Yeah.
You can probably help me out.
Yeah, I can. Wait, can I? Shit.
You just follow me lead.
Okay, I will follow your lead.
Alrighty.
Let's let the charisma guy talk to the kobolds. It sounds like a great plan.
I never suggested that I would talk to them.
I thought you had 6 charisma.
so you start your preparations for the evening, and again, as is typical in the region, the wind starts picking up, and the trees are rustling, and temperature drops a little bit. You're starting to see your breath a bit, but it's not like oppressively cold. It's just really brisk.
Dane turns his collar up a little further and wraps a scarf around his neck and his lower, and he hands the healing potion he got to Stannis.
Wait,
Look,
why to me?
my arts are useful when we're not in the middle of getting stabbed. You need this to keep people up, I'm assuming.
Anyone can use that. I can heal people just by using my hands.
He
Yeah.
means that it's better for you to have it in case I die and cannot save you. If I choose to save you, the whole death thing.
I mean, I can still hold on to it, but I like I said, I can be healing with my hands.
Yeah, but if you get hit for something you can't fix immediately, I prefer you have it, and that way you can make sure you're.
Your thoughtfulness is much appreciated. I like you better than your sister now.
It's pragmatism, trust me.
We're not friends quite yet. But you follow me lead, and maybe you'll take over his spot.
Dahlia is pouting.
Oh, by the way, Archcool, I might be needing you for the plan as well.
I would hope so. This is the one time our goals are somewhat aligned.
All right. And you both, I'm going to say, Stannis, you hear a twig snap around the corner of the Shrine of Curies.
Around the shrine.
Yeah, kind of around the shrine. So as you guys are sort of kind of in this area, you hear a twig snap somewhere around the shrine.
Does anyone but him hear it?
I'm not sure I don't know off the top of my head. Everybody's passive perception.
I'm at 15.
But yeah. Soon, yeah, you would hear it. Archcool would hear it.
I'm at 15 myself.
Okay, so pretty much everybody except Marty and Dahlia. Yeah, you all hear a twig snap.
Prior to this,
Sunya would crouch and begin moving towards it to see if she can spot it. She would have, at this point, she would have her bow out.
All right, so give me a perception check.
and then prior to this, I tell Archcool that when I cast Thaumaturgy on myself, I need him to do the same thing onto Dahlia.
What do you mean, thaumaturgy? I need no grandiose displays to demonstrate the power of my master.
You're this kind of.
Obviously, their arguing has distracted her.
Stannis,
Yeah.
I can be intimidating on my own. Just you trust me, I can do it. You may have to talk a little bit more for me, but I can be very intimidating.
So, Sunya, are you approaching the shrine as you...
I would be heading towards the sound.
Okay, so as you head towards the sound, you get right close. You're able to get up to the shrine. Is that...
All right. Now, did it seem to come more or less from the left or right? That to the level
it seemed to come around. It seemed to come like left around the corner. Yeah, where you are, kind of around the corner on the...
Okay, so she would be like looking around that corner to see if she saw anything.
The moment you turn around the corner, you are face to face with two kobolds. They're kind of like, they seem almost like gecko plastered to the wall, and one is here and the other one is here, and they both blink at you.
They're doing the Scooby Gang head stack.
Yeah, they're both staring at you. You're staring at them. None of you detected each other.
Lord.
Our heroes, everyone.
And then you hear one speak to the other. The bottom one says to the top one, and they don't move.
And Sunya simply, not real loud, she doesn't want to alert the entire thing, she just like hisses at them and goes, "You're dead!"
The top one looks and says, and they're still.
She growls at them like
That's exact. Yeah, Wes. That's exactly what she said. Yeah, the draconic translation is "Don't move. They can't see move."
This is the
Don't
best.
move. The T-Rex
thing
can't see
ever.
you.
And they're not moving. They're just staring at you. They're not even blinking. You're just face to face with two bipedal.
What a
Zunya,
coincidence! You have two swords.
Zunya will drop her bow and pull out one of her swords and point it directly at whoever is closest, like she's pointing it right at their throat.
The top one slowly pulls back around the corner, and the bottom one is like, Can you speak Draconic? Do you understand Draconic? No.
I wish I was here to understand
Yeah.
what this was.
Yeah. You could give me an insight check to figure out like what the hell is going on.
The trail of urine on the ground doesn't
Just
give it
as
away.
good at my insight
Yeah,
as
you're.
I am in perception.
Yeah, you're not.
Wow.
You're just like these. They're here. They got here already.
Yeah, all she knows is she wants to intimidate them backwards.
Okay, yeah. So give me So you got the sword pointed to one of their faces. Yeah, you don't even need to roll. You don't even need to roll. You start to smell some.
I hear dripping.
Basically,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
And then you hear, and then the rest of you hear
Running away?
footsteps charging off. Yeah.
She will
And
slide
then,
back around the shrine, and anybody that can see her, she will make hand motions indicating where they went.
The moment that you break eye contact with the kobold that was frozen,
Oh, he
you
didn't
hear
run? Yeah.
you hear footsteps. There were two. The one that was on top had already pulled back and bolted, and then and then the moment you break eye contact with the one that was like, "Don't move, they can't see movement," she bolted too.
Yeah, I thought they both bolted was what I thought.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, they're both.
Once she will give them enough room to make sure that they bolt, and then she will go wave to indicate.
Arshcool, Stannis, and Dane, you see two small figures, one about 10 to 20 feet behind the other one, diminutive figures charging towards the forest. away from the shrine.
How far away are they from us?
They're probably... Let me actually get that, because I can actually get that distance. Yay! Probably about 100 feet away.
I'm gonna try to kill one.
No!
Okay.
Whatever.
With what?
The chill touch has 120 foot range.
Okay, go ahead and give me the attack roll.
Woo!
You go to do that, and you see this spectral hand shoot out and grasp, almost catching the neck of one, and you hear like a yipping as it seems to double time it into the woods, and they both dive into the forest and disappear.
Apparently, they were a poor sacrifice. Ah, well, they know we're here.
So now that people have started moving, Dane peeks around the house that he was kind of resting behind because he's keeping an eye on the southern reaches, and looks towards Zunya and like kind of gives a helpless shrug.
Yeah, all she's trying to do is alert them
everything's
that
okay?
they're there. She
Oh.
again makes a motion like they're here, they're here.
I'm gonna step out, not let the... Oh, did you have something, Dane?
No, Dane's gonna. If she's just making motions, Dane's going to do some motions back to her that totally makes sense to other people who know what he's doing, but probably makes no sense.
Then, to try to keep everyone else from being spotted so that the kobolds don't know how many of us are here, I'm just going to step out by myself. I'm going to tell Dahlia to just stay right there for a moment. And I'm going to yell out in Draconic, "Oi, who goes there?"
So you're doing this with thaumaturgy?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you roar out towards the Grimshaws, and then you don't hear any response.
I'm just going to wait there. I'm going to keep my hand on my chest for when I need to cast. How reasonable can I do thaumaturgy 3 times? Seeing as I can.
I mean, thaumaturgy is a cantrip, so you can just keep doing it. But like, if I don't know how long the voice amplification effect is. I don't know if it's.
They all say like I can have 3 thaumaturgies up for 1 minute.
Okay, so essentially what this is so your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. So basically, you cast it on yourself. And then for 1 minute, you can make your voice up to 3 times as loud as normal, or normal speaking, or that sort of thing. Like you have that range.
I understood. Is it reasonable that I'd be able to get myself 3 thaumaturgies in almost an instant?
No, I think you have to
6 seconds. It takes an action to cast. Yeah, so every round is 6 seconds. So then even if we're not in combat, each round happens in 6.
Then during this time, I'm going to go ahead and start casting thaumaturgy on myself. I'm going to use this time to boost myself up with 3 thaumaturgies, and I'll let you know what they are. If they come back, I guess.
What effects are you putting?
Voice, changing eye color, thunder, rolling thunder in the background, or let me see what that was. Come on. Spells, thaumaturgy.
So if he's making rolling thunder appearing in the background, Dane pokes his head around the corner again, though this time he's got a light cross.
Yeah, I create an instantaneous sound at a point of my choice within range, such as a rumble of thunder. Okay, so I can't do.
It won't be constant, but you can make a sound effect.
Since we are not actively in combat, would she have time to sneak forward and grab her bow and put it on her back?
Yeah, you're able to set up.
I'll do 2 on me, which is voice, eye color, and then the moment that I see kobolds, I'm gonna make a 3rd one. And for that voice or for that noise, could I make it a dragon's roar and make it behind me coming from the city?
Yeah, you could do that.
All right. Yeah, the moment that I see kobolds show their faces, I'm going to cast that 3rd thaumaturgy.
Arshkul, you're the first to hear it.
Hear what?
There's very distant drum beats that start to come from the Grimshaws.
I hear drums. At least they have good taste.
And you all start to see a pair of eyes, and then another pair of eyes, and then another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and on and on and on.
These aren't the red wolf ones that I saw before.
They're not red. These are they're all sort of a yellow orange.
And are they at the height that would be kobolds?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to tell because the ground is uneven, but they're not taller than you would hope. Let's put it that way. And they seem to be moving at about the speed that you would expect for that small of a creature. And they seem to be heading this direction.
I'm not on the right screen. Okay, so right around in front of me.
Yeah, they're basically like heading right towards you, Stannis. Or yeah, Stannis and Sunya, they seem to be heading towards this position.
From the top of the Baying Wolf Inn, would I have a good overview of Sunya and Stan?
Yeah, from if you're on the roof of the Baying Wolf Inn, you'd have a pretty commanding view of the entire. You're probably visually blocked a bit from seeing the exact approach, because the shrine is slightly at a higher elevation than the inn, but you can see Sunya and Stannis pretty easy.
But my 10-foot ladder wouldn't reach to the top of the Baying Wolf Inn.
I mean, I thought. So, are you on the roof of the?
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
trying-
you can get on the inn. What I'm saying is the shrine is at a higher elevation, so it's sort of like Sunya and Stannis at their position next to the shrine is kind of halfway at the same height you are.
Oh, okay.
The ground rises as it goes towards the Grimshaws.
Yes, but the shrine doesn't have a roof, does it?
It does.
Oh, I'll do that instead.
It has a roof to it, but the center of the roof is open so that massive tree can.
Okay, then I will get on top of the shrine of Carice. Carice.
Okay.
I'll just put myself next to Dom.
And Sunya will hiss at the ones next to her, saying, I need to fire my bow to draw them in.
Give me just one moment. If it fails, draw fire your bow.
She nods.
And I recast Thaumaturgy on myself again because I'm pretty sure it's past a minute.
And TPK.
And
do I see kobolds?
Moment.
Yep.
Sunya would ready her bow based on Stannis's command, and she would aim the arrow directly between one of the nearest pair of eyes.
All right.
Marty pulls the ladder up after him.
Yeah, and you and Marty, you start to see it too. You're seeing what look like definite groups of these orange eyes as they start to move with purpose through the woods towards the town. And that is where we'll take a quick break.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Very good.
Glory of everybody. With a Rashkul by our side, we have 4.5 people rather than 5.5 people. It's a short joke.
No.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is that a dig on me with that half?
Well, considering our graves, I'll only have to dig 3 feet for you.
You should be careful in this town. They don't like illegal grave digging. I don't know why.
Yeah, we heard about that. That's a little weird that you guys were doing that. I'm just saying.
Well,
Weird
next
to
time,
bury dead people.
next time we will leave them out in the street for the children to view. They should learn to get used to it soon.
Like that vine.
Okay.
Hey, I found a dead rat on a cracker. Let's poke it with a stick.
All right, so we should, yeah. I think before we took a break, I had shot every single colt, and they were all dead.
That sounds right to me. It's 100 HP, right, everybody?
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
And I think we gained 10 levels from that, too. Maybe 11? I don't know.
Roughly, yeah.
Dahlia fireballed everybody.
Are we back?
Yes.
Welcome back to Are You Sure? We apologize for the technical mishap during our break.
We will be editing that
do we
out.
really?
It will be
Apologize.
edited. It will be edited in the posting.
Oh, we love live TV.
Yeah. Well, shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move y'all over to the map.
Ooh, new map.
I'm not doing this because I'm a coward, but no, literally he would be over here. Because that was the plan.
Are these wood piles over here?
I'm not doing this because I'm a coward.
Are these wood piles a type of cover?
Yeah, they would be able, if you crouch behind them, they're about they're chest high walls. You'd be able to crouch behind them.
So they're stand as high walls. Got it.
Marty,
That's because Arashkul has died and entered the plains of heaven.
It's afraid of the TPK too.
It's also, afraid of the TPK. This is what happens when Tucker's kobolds decide to make a raid on a village.
They've had no time to make traps at least.
I still
By
want to
the
know
way-
what this is.
you're all familiar with Snake's box that falls over him? That's
What?
pretty much what happened to Marty. As soon as
Marty is inside of a crate on top
Marty
of the
is
building.
inside of a crate
Oh my
on top of
God.
the shrine.
Oh,
You know, if you
Super
get hit by a vehicle, you get
All right,
fast
Marty.
travel.
Marty,
Yes.
give me a stuff.
Oh no. Do I have advantage because I'm inside of a box?
No.
On top of a ceiling, on top of a roof.
Fuck you, Apple.
All right.
and lo, on that day, Martigrin was hidden so well, people thought he was actually a bot. For 10,000 years, he lay there waiting.
Who left that box on the roof?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So so when you roll, since we're not including the roll chat log at the moment, if you make an attack roll, I would like you to call out what it was, and same thing with skill checks or saving throws or something like that, and the damage as well.
Sure thing, sure thing. For the viewers' information, this is Smarty hiding inside of Minor Illusion.
Here, let's get you a box. Here you
The
go.
most deadly weapon ever. It's a box.
And well, what? So as we come back, what you all see is up to that line that you had identified, Dane. That's where the eyes stop. So kind of at this border is where they stop, but you're still hearing that drum go off.
Where's the? I didn't see where you drew the line.
So kind of this border here with the trees. Yeah. So kind of around here is where you're seeing the eyes stop.
I'm not seeing you on the map, Eppo.
You're not seeing me on the map. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong layer. Yay, technicalities. Cool. You see us now?
Yes.
Yeah. So no eyes have come further than this.
Dane's gonna relocate to here and take a look towards the south side, and try to view with the torches they've set up and see if anything's moving down in that direction instead.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. Madam Technical Director, has the picture shown up?
Let's say 10 for perception.
You're not seeing much activity down there, but you're definitely only hearing the drum. Like the further south that you move to investigate, you're hearing the drums sort of recede, kind of back towards the direction of the rest.
May I ready an action?
Sure. What would you like to ready, and what would you like to trigger?
I'd like to ready a chill touch cast, and whenever they begin to advance beyond the tree line.
Okay, and you'll just hit the first thing that pops out of the tree line.
Preferably the first things that are within 5 feet of each other, but if not, then the first.
So, question for clarification.
Sure.
The eyes are up here, not over here.
Yeah, you're not seeing anything really down here. Like maybe there might be one or two down there, but most of the eyes seem to be sort of in this area.
Oh, well, damnation, my box is on the wrong side. I suppose Marty is going to try to creep around.
Don't push your luck, man. You got a 21 for the stealth check.
Well, I can't see
as you reset, I'm gonna have you reroll because
Here comes the one.
Yeah, because it doesn't move with you. Let me have this.
No.
Okay, yeah, so
I think what Kyle's meaning to say is, are you sure? Oh,
You said the thing!
Had to be the first. Great, get out of here now.
all right.
Are you sure?
Alright, so stealth roll. Also,
No, you're also 21. All right, it's meant to be. Reload.
Okay.
and I'll draw my little box.
Okay. All right. And then the drums stop.
Ominous.
Very. I'm still waiting for kobolds to show up, by the way.
And yeah.
Dane casts his vision back towards the bridge and kind of moves back up the.
Dane casts suspicion.
Yes, the spell suspicion.
Suddenly three figures
I see
burst
writing
from
on
the
the wall.
Suddenly three figures burst from the woods.
I cast my
They
last
appear-
thaumaturgy.
Right. They appear to be about. It's really dark and really hard to see, but they appear to be about 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet tall, sinewy bodies and they seem to be of similar shape to the figures that ran from the shrine previously.
All right. I cast my last thaumaturgy for the dragon roar before I speak, and
Archcool, your trigger.
Yeah. Let's. Are they within 5 feet? That's not how you pursue that. They are. So I am going to use my is it trait? That's the term. Yeah, my trait, my Reaper. I'm going to reap them both.
So
That's a 24
That'll hit.
and 22.
It's one. It's just the first one. So how it works is it changes something from one target to having 2 targets, so it's a single.
Fantastic. Then I'm going to do.
You're a grave domain cleric.
Really? What gave it away?
And as you do that, you see this spectral hand shoot forward and kind of mold, and then grab both of their throats, squeeze them together, and then they just drop.
A paltry offering, but you'll suffice for the moment.
The one that was running stops.
They can't see you if you don't move.
And looks at his 2 friends and doesn't move.
Can I? Is that his turn?
Roll initiative.
Oh, I don't get to say my thing.
You can say your thing as before we start initiative, but let's just roll initiative and then you can.
Sure.
Of course. 2 21s on stealth rolls.
Oh man,
And
I'm missing my +5 plus advantage.
I had
definitely missing my.
Oh,
+5 and
Wow.
advantage.
So I didn't have my token selected, so I should only have a 5 for initiative.
That your initiative is your initiative.
Oh, I'm missing. I rolled a 3. I'm going to re-roll to get added on. Oh, it's because I don't have it targeted. Because I don't have myself targeted. All right. So here, all right. I'll change it to 3. I really want that 20.
Hey, Stanish, you're acting with me.
I missed that +5 plus advantage.
I've never been concerned with when I act in the turn order. I just always assume I'm going to go last.
That's how I get by most of the time.
Okay,
I could be running Ranger and have like a advantage to initiative or something.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter because Stannis, you get to go first.
All right. So as I said, I do my last thaumaturgy with the dragon roar coming from the village. And as for my eye color, the Osvitar's color is gold. You said
Yes.
like a fiery gold in my eyes, and I yell out, "You dare trespass upon this village protected by Osvitar, the Dragon Father, right?
Yes.
The Dragon Father."
I like to imagine that Stannis actually stopped to take out his note.
Yeah, Osvitar. Let me grab my note.
Okay, and you said this in Draconic.
In Draconic.
Okay. Can you give me an intimidation check?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Deerrock is back.
Dear Rock is
And
back.
Sunyal,
Nice.
with his action, she would loose an arrow.
Okay, so she was waiting. She had a ready to
Waiting
action for
for-
Stannis
yes,
to do his
mhm.
thing.
Yep.
Okay, so Stannis, do your thing. I mean, yeah, go ahead. And
Oh yeah. By the way, my intimidation
I
was
used up my 21 on the
20.
test. Boy, I've
Yep.
only rolled a 5, and that one.
Okay.
What do I have to roll to find out where it went?
Your longbow isn't rolling properly for damage.
Harsh cool.
Hello, ready for me?
Yes.
Alrighty, I'm gonna reap another soul.
That'll hit.
Woo! That'll do nothing. The plus side, he can't heal for a turn.
You see him suddenly start grabbing at his throat as this spectral hand disappears, and so all of you see this sort of little glow collar around him.
We're
Delia.
at a rave.
Dahlia is going to hold her action for now. She'll
What-
wait.
What would you like to hold, and what would you like the trigger to be?
Well, she's waiting until they get close enough to see her until she's far enough away from people to put on her mantle of flame and look like a big fiery phoenix. Because she figures that'll make a couple of them shit their pants. I mean, excuse me, poop their pants. You do.
Doo-doo-doo.
So she's gonna hold that until, let's say, until she can see at least 3 of them. Because I'm only seeing 1 right now. So until she can see at least 3. Actually, no. Scratch that. Do we have any idea of how many there are?
You have no idea. You see
Awesome.
one. You see one currently, but it's very hard to see because they are blinking and moving still. It's kind of hard to pick a specific number out of the eye pair. I'd say with a really good perception check, you can probably give it a good guess if you want it.
Actually. Oh, no, that has to be within touch range. Never mind. Yeah, she'll do a perception check just to see how many there are, roughly.
All right, it's going to be a disadvantage because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Silly humies.
You see 10 other pairs of eyes out in the woods.
All right, so she's going to hold it until there's like 6 of them visible.
So what are you holding specifically?
Mantle of Flame.
Okay. All right. And you around this point you all start to hear heavy footfalls, and it sounds like armor as one very tall figure emerges from the woods, and there is something kind of small on its back, kind of chittering and twitching, and then up in the northern area you see another kobold emerge, and then another one of these large armored figures with another kind of twitchy looking figure on its shoulder.
I think that's our guy.
And there's 2 of them. One starts to move to the south, and the other one starts to move towards Arshkul's position. And then 3 more kobolds emerge from the woods. And then this kobold that's way up in the corner is just for me, because all the kobolds are going on the same turn. All right. Sunya!
Fire another arrow at this guy here.
Okay.
And I think I've corrected this to have its damage correct. .22 with 8 damage.
That would hit, and it was to this one.
Yeah, the little guy on the end.
And he
She's
poofs.
trying to force them. Yeah, she's trying to funnel them towards the logs.
Sorry, I'm keeping track of the raiding party as you guys, destroy them. Yeah, they have families, and
Well,
Dave,
now I just
it's your turn.
bad. Alrighty, so
All those little egglets waiting at home that will never see their daddy again.
I am way too far back. If they're just blatantly coming from up there, Dane's going to go ahead and take a move and a dash. That is not the button I want. Haha! So that should allow me to get 30 and 30. So, up there. He's got a light crossbow with him and a lantern that he has turned off. I'm gonna, try to just remain as out of sight as possible while sprinting across the center.
Where are you keeping the torches, by the way? I just want to make sure that
The torches are already lined up on most of the southern part to help kind of keep that up, and I assume there'd be some by the wood piles.
Okay, so there's probably one by each wood pile.
By each pair, yeah.
So something like...
Yeah, like there and then opposite there, yep.
Okay. Alright. This one... So... Arshkul, what you're seeing approaching you is a 8-foot tall, muscular, broad-bodied creature that looks like a kobold that somebody took the scale tool to, and it is wearing thick black plated armor, and it is wielding a glaive that's probably about 10 feet long and has a very jagged looking weapon blade at the tip. On its shoulder is a regular sized kobold on one side, and then on the opposite side is a kobold that is banging on a drum.
So the do they have like a built-in lance? These not basilisks.
So this one, well, basically what it is it's walking on two legs, and it's wearing armor, and it has a glaive, and then there's on the one that's approaching your position, there's a kobold on each shoulder.
Oh,
one of the kobolds is banging on a drum.
So it's on two legs with a kobold on each shoulder.
Yeah, and
okay.
The one with the drum goes, and then the torch next to you explodes. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
9.
You are blinded until the start of this creature's next turn. And the torch poofs out. Stannis.
Sunya is directly behind me. She's within touching range, right?
She's up almost even with you, just slightly behind you. She'd be a little, because she doesn't want to shoot you, so she would.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, I believe it's a touch spell, guidance.
Yeah, guidance is a touch spell.
Yeah, range is touch. So I'm gonna cast guidance on Sunya.
And that's a 1d4 on rolls.
It's a 1d4 on skill checks.
It says I can add a 1d4 and add the roll. Oh, it's a skill check. I thought it was
skill check only. Bless is for the whole is for attacks and
saving throws.
Okay, then can I veto that?
Sure.
All right. I misread because I was looking at bless before that.
Cast so much stuff to look.
Yeah, right. Well, this is also my first cast. 59 feet. How far is Sacred Flame?
I'd say you can hit it. Just go for it.
All right, then yeah, I'm going to Sacred Flame as soon as I find the correct part of it. No, that's not that. That's a picture.
Which
did
one?
Not cast Bless correctly.
Did not cast Bless. No, I'm gonna try to hold off my level.
Which one are you targeting for the Sacred Flame?
Let's go with because I'm assuming that that's not the targeting tool. That this guy this little orange one right here is the same thing that he was just looking at, that Arshko was just looking at. I guess I'm not going to metagame this. I don't know.
You don't know that there is another group. You just see a little kobold banging on a drum.
Yeah.
On
Well,
the shoulder
don't see
of
the
a big
building.
heavy plated. Yeah, but there's on the shoulder of a. They're essentially on the same space because one is riding on the shoulder.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and attack this. So then this white one here is the big one, right?
Yeah, he's about 7-8 feet tall,
Right.
with like heavy plate armor, and he's got a glaive, and he is beelining right toward.
I am going to Sacred Flame him.
Okay, can you just roll a? Yeah, there we go. Okay,
Yep.
so you got DC 13.
DC 13.
And he made it.
All right.
So
he
what
takes no
you're
damage,
seeing?
right?
So you cast that, and then it seems like in a reaction to as you're casting the spell, the creature on his shoulder kind of taps his ear, and immediately he reaches up with he holds the glaive kind of like a wheel axle, and then he puts his hand over the drumming kobold and does a roll as the sacred flame erupts behind him.
We can't kill these guys. They're too cool.
Now it's the creature on his shoulder's turn, and he is going to reach out and suddenly I need you, Stannis,
Mhm.
to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution is an 11.
All right, you're gonna take 8 fire damage as your mace starts to heat up in your hand.
Ouch,
that's just
I'm almost
mean.
down already.
Yeah, we're level 1.
And
So.
you're hearing the creature on the shoulder go.
Was that the drummer or?
That was the drummer. Yeah, it's very obviously the
This
drummer.
is why I gave you the healing potion.
Yep.
Marty.
Can I see these things approaching?
Yeah, you're aware that you're in an illusion, so you can see through it just fine.
No, I'm saying can I see them?
Yeah, you can see everybody.
Okay, then I am going to cast Hex on the drummer as a bonus action.
Okay.
My one and only spell.
What ability check do you pick?
Dexterity.
Okay, so he has disadvantage on dexterity checks.
Yes. And I will put on my concentration
That's a bonus action.
as a
So,
bonus action.
what would
And
you like
for
to
my
do
main
here?
action, I'm going to try to Eldritch Blast that drum.
Right, you're going to have advantage.
Awesome. I'm okay with that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to smack him in the face.
Total of 10 damage.
Okay, and then I need to.
To be specific, I was targeting the drummer near the north.
Oh, the north one? Okay. Yeah, well, I'll just switch them.
That works.
Okay.
Does that... I don't know this, but does that end the blindness for our school, or does it still wait until...
No, the blindness for our school happened at the moment that there was an
Okay.
It's a failed save effect, probably. Is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
it's a failed
Yeah.
save. It's only until the start of its next turn. So basically, he just has one round of that.
Okay. And I am going to just stay inside the box.
Okay, Stannis. Do you drop your hammer?
Yeah, the moment it started hurting me, I
Okay.
let go of it.
it hits the ground and it's just singeing into. You're seeing smoke rise up from the grass. Like the grass is wet, so it's not catching like fire, but you're seeing smoke rise up from your weapon.
I look over to the kobold. My wife made that hammer. Yeah, right. And I yelled that in Draconic.
And you understand the translation, the implication meaning it looks like shit.
Oh, he is definitely.
Oh no!
I am.
And on that day, Stannis became a barbarian, and he started to raid.
Yep. There we go. I might as well just go barbarian again.
Stannis, it is.
I'm sorry.
Your turn.
I just went though.
He did just go.
I went before.
Cool.
Yeah, it's our.
You dropped a hammer, and that was it.
No.
No, I did a sacred flame before. Remember?
You did a sacred flame before. Now we're back to your turn.
No, it can't be. He's on initiative 3, Holmes.
Yeah, I'm on initiative 3.
I see him at 22.
I see him.
I had to redo it because my thing wasn't showing up on the turn order. Sorry.
You're actually at 3. Okay, let me reorder.
Yes.
You. All right. That's probably why there was confusion. All right.
Happy to give the cleric more actions, but seriously.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give me another action right now, I'll.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's still your turn. Okay. All right. Arshkull, just
My
go.
camera's not on.
Arshkull can't see a dang thing. So he says, "All life must end, but let these bodies fall before me." And he casts false life on himself.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Which is, I gain 1d4 plus 4.
I feel like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor is going to be Arshkull's theme song.
Arshkull's theme song is probably something by Bette Midler, knowing what.
So you have 6 temporary hit points.
Some say love.
Dahlia, your turn.
Alright, how many of them can I see from here?
You can see, if you peek around the corner, you see that very large one with the angry one on its shoulder heading.
That's it.
Quick question.
That's the only one that's the only one you can see because you got a building between you and.
Kill the drummer on the shoulder?
You did not. You
Oh,
smacked him really hard, but he's not dead.
Okay.
Okay. I might regret this. I'm gonna regret this. We're all gonna regret this.
Nah.
Bird to the ground!
I'd rather regret, death over death.
It's time for a firebolt at the drummer.
Okay. That hit.
19.
Well, I'll hit.
Shazam.
That's spicy. Oh my gosh! I've been watching a series that featured that commercial as a cut-in, and I was like, wow, this is an actual commercial. I thought it was just a meme, like the letter E.
Right.
Wait, a meme like the letter E?
I'll show it to you later, Abby. It's fine.
I think I
Alright,
know.
so the firebolt flies forward and just smacks right into the face of this kobold, and he drops not the drum, but the God, I'm blanking on the name.
Drumstick?
Mallet.
The drumstick. Yeah, thanks. It's been a fun week. He drops the drum. I forgot if there was like a special word. Whatever. Anyway.
Oh, DM, let me just have some of my water that you have in that cup there.
Anyway. So he drops the drumstick, and the creature that he's on starts to move towards the group of you.
Oh,
You're just hearing.
they're all creatures. Oh, there's okay.
Ooh,
Very nice.
That's what we like to see.
Woo! It's Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
So that like stabs like right into like where his throat is, and you're seeing black blood start to just pour out of this wound. He's still standing, but you're just seeing like it's just this black blood is just spraying.
16 points is perfectly respectable, though. Nice job.
The one near Arshkul moves right up next to.
Bring it.
So
on.
Arshkul, you can't see anything, but you do hear as this clanking footstep gets closer, and this kobold here is going to take the dash action and haul ass this way. And then these kobolds, one goes here, one goes here, the other one goes there. All right. Dane.
Is the drummer considered within 5 feet of Arash on the one on him?
I'm going to say yes, he's within 5 feet because he's technically in the same space as the creature that is within.
Dane fumbles with the crossbow for a second, levels it, and then whispers and he shoots the drummer. This is going to include a sneak attack if it hits.
All right.
Let's roll that separately since another macro setup like a loser. That is a tasty, a strong 10.
That is a strong 10, but it does not.
Garbage. Dane uses bonus action to reload the crossbow.
Okay. The Stannis, you see the drummer spit into his hand and slap the tall creature that's next to him, and you just hear him say, "Kajishtes," which is a draconic word meaning fortitude, and he casts a spell.
If these things are curing light, we need to run.
Yep.
And he regains some hit points.
Here's your answer.
No.
We need to get rid of those drummers first.
Marty
is going to continue to try to focus down the drummer on the creature next to Arshkul.
Yep.
Only 3.
But
I mean, it's 20 attack roll.
It's 3
but
plus
with the force
that,
and it comes out to 5.
that was enough.
Yay!
And he gets popped.
Marty will poke his head out of the box, and we need to focus down the drummers first.
Can I see again?
Yes, you can. Yeah, because we just passed his turn because he died. Okay, so Arshkul, you can see now. Stannis.
I'm going to throw another Sacred Flame at the drummer this time because he is really making me mad, insulting my wife.
Okay.
DC 13 or take 7 damage.
That would be a fail.
Yeah.
How do you want to kill him?
Both drummers are
Let's
dead?
go with I'm just so upset, but I go with the Sacred Flame. It makes like a little dragon's head that spits the flame right into him.
And you just hear him like let out a as he falls, it kind of scorched off the shoulder of the tall one. The tall one kind of looks down at him and then looks back towards.
That's for insulting me wife. Yang great. And then I book it.
I was about to say, you may want to use...
Yep,
Marty.
I'm booking it. As I
Marty.
recall. I should probably...
Marty, you start to see movement as something is coming out of the forest.
I can only go 25. As I run past Dahlia, I tell her...
It's still in the forest, but you can't see it.
Probably shouldn't look at it, though.
By the way, as a
Arshkul.
bonus action, I shifted Hex over to the creature next to Arshkul.
Okay.
Arshkul can see again, so he's going to shank the dragon person. Has the dragon person taken any damage?
He has the one in front of you has not taken any damage. No.
He didn't shank.
You bring your what exactly is your weapon?
It's just
Ritual
a
blade?
very jagged ritual blade.
So you bring it up, clang! It just clangs against this thing's armor. Like you go for what you expect to be a weak spot, and you just spark off of chain. Dahlia.
Dahlia pokes her head around and casts another fireball at the big guy.
Okay. That'll hit.
Ha!
A 16, and that was a fire bolt for those who are.
That's more health.
Sorry,
that's more health.
firebolt. I'm sorry, not a fireball.
So with a 16 to hit and a 10 on damage, that's one more health than he had. How do you?
Yeah!
She just he just goes up in flames. And what color are they?
What color are they?
It's very important for her to know these things.
They seem to be. Actually, I know this. 1 second.
He's researched. He knows.
They are.
He's all mine, folks.
As you're looking at them, you can see them up close. They actually are reticulated and red brown in color.
Dahlia just stares, and it's like it's the most beautiful thing, and she is fascinated by it.
Well, Les, we need to move.
Please tell me not literally fascinated by it, in which case that's going to be bad.
No, that's one of her traits, is that she's fascinated by fire, even if it's somebody that she actually likes. So she's just like, wow, that's awesome.
Oh, great.
Sunya.
Sunya will book it to the other side of the building to try and get. Whoops, that was not. That's what I want. There we go. So I got to get some place that I can get a line of sight, which ought to be about there. So she would get about here, and she would fire at the dragon thing in front of Arshkul.
Okay. It's 20 to hit. That'll do it. And then 5 damage. All right.
Yep, 20 and 5.
Right. Its turn. It is going to use a bonus action. No, it's not going to use that. Okay. So it is going to take a swing at Arch with the big old glaive.
18 AC just for him.
A glaive, you say?
So it's going to be a 21 to hit.
Ow.
6 damage.
He's using a glaive. He's just channeling Jarek at this point.
And then he's
Marshal
going to
ball.
use action. Then he's going to use action surge for a second.
Oh man,
Rude.
they have fire levels?
15 to hit.
Nope.
So it manages to come off of your shield. And he lets out a roaring sound as he does it, and all of the other kobolds stop, and they start. You see, and they start flinging stones at Arshkul, and all of the attacks have advantage.
That is very rude.
So
What the heck is this engagement?
this one has advantage. This one has advantage, but the other two have just a regular attack. So we'll just do the regular attack.
Does he have any
Miss,
sort
miss.
of cover from the logs from these two?
Not while he's standing up and fighting.
Okay.
And none of them hit. So just these rocks just start
Right.
pelting
Clink, clink,
all
clink.
over the
Clink,
place,
clink.
flying all over the place, and they're not hitting Arshkul.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but only if they hit me.
I was gonna say something, and then I realized, oh wait, never mind. It's kobolds. I was concerned about.
And then this one runs over this way, and this one runs over this way, and then this one over here, and then this one over there. Okay, Dane.
Dane still has his light crossbow ready, and it's reloaded from last time, so he's going to advance to here and take another shot at the guy. This will be a sneak attack if it hits, because he is adjacent to my... Oh, within 5 feet, rather. That's a strong 16, and that is the total damage.
A 16 does hit.
So I'll catch him in the chest, and Dane will set the crossbow down, and draw a short sword.
Okay. Marty!
By the way, there's something moving in the forest. And I will cast Eldritch Blast at this creature. Ooh, nice. I got almost max damage on both of those.
How would you want to take
Silently. By the way, there's something coming out of the forest.
and then he
Straight
just
through the mouth. Falls. No theatrics, no nothing like that.
Something is talking to us, and it appears to be a box that shoots purple lasers. Awesome.
Yes.
Alright. Stanis.
I'm going to use
does taking that potion take an action? Or is it a bonus action?
Taking the potion would be an action, yeah.
Would be an action? Alright. I'm gonna move a bit back so I can get this one in line of sight. Oh, here. Let me make sure I'm not going over my 25. Oh, I'm well within range. Alright, so I'm gonna move back to about here. And this one is going to have Sacred Flame cast against it. Let me get my proper sheet up.
Which one?
The furthest left. Yeah, that one. Sacred Flame, DC 13, or take 3 damage.
Critical success.
All right.
So,
But it was a kobold, so nobody cared.
Marty, you see what breaks through, and you see a kobold astride what appears to be a 6 or 7 foot long sextiped. It's a lizard with 6 legs, and it has spines all along its back except where the kobold is riding on it. No saddle or anything like that, or not even any bridle. But the kobold does have a spear and a shield, and a helmet.
I think boss is here.
And the kobold on the back starts like barking orders and roaring in Draconic.
What do I hear?
You hear, hurry up! We don't have much time. Get around the new ones. I'll take care of them.
There's more going around.
All of my no.
I have an idea.
Okay, and it starts to move. Moves to here. Okay, Urshkul, your turn.
I'll buy you time. Take care of the straggler. And I'm going to use Reaper, and I'm going to double chill touch the two.
Okay.
Where is it at? That's disappointing.
That misses. Dahlia.
Dahlia once again pokes her head around and firebolt, I'm sorry. She goes after that guy.
Okay. That'll hit.
A meaty 14.
Nice.
Meeting.
He just pops like a kernel.
Dahlia lets out a kind of disconcerting giggle that Dane might be able to hear and recognize.
I'm a little concerned about this.
Did you see him? He popped.
She is going to move up into behind one of the log barriers, and the log barrier can be fired over, correct?
Yeah, you can take a shot and then duck back.
That's what she is going to do. She's going to fire at the lizardy, crocodilian, whatever thing that it is riding, and she's going to attempt to shoot it specifically.
Okay.
She shoots a 14 with 8 damage if she hits.
It hits, and the arrow crumples the moment it hits the lizard. Like, you see the arrow hit and then just shatter. This
Did it appear
kobold,
to take damage from this arrow?
it appeared to not break stride or anything. The arrow just hit it and then shattered. This kobold here sees his friend pop and takes the dash action backwards.
Yes.
I mean, it's the only logical solution.
Dahlia cheerfully calls to Stannis, "See, I told you I can be intimidating."
This one takes the dash action back towards the forest. This one takes the dodge action and goes this direction. Dane.
Well, I was not expecting this turn of events. Dane drops his short sword, picks back up the crossbow, and loads it. He will move to this and keep an eye on this kobold on the right-hand side.
All right, Marty.
Marty is... Well, I need to get my hex, so I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast at the that kobold in order to get my hex back. Does a 12 hit?
That'll hit.
Excellent. Total of 6 damage.
He pops.
And I'll use my bonus action to transfer my hex to this. What did you say? Sextropod?
Sextropod.
Sextropod.
I don't know. It's a word I.
Let's just call it a lizard for right now.
It's
Let's just use a lizard.
It's the 6-legged lizard thing.
Hexapod.
There we go.
That's much better.
Actually,
It is.
it's called a hexapod.
Oh no!
Actually. All right, Stannis, is your
Right there. All right. Oh wait, hold on. I just need to see if I can do it this no, definitely not this turn because of my 25 movement speed. All right, so where's 25? Right there. I am going to book it up to here. I think it's so here. I don't want to go over my space. Sorry. Here, where's 25? 25.
You don't need to be specific.
You could
Yeah.
dash
You don't need
if
to be
you
like-
wanted to go further.
I don't want to dash yet, because I don't want to be within its range of eyesight if this is what I think it is.
Might I suggest that potion?
I'm still holding on to it just because. Well, how far away is it if I get there?
What about casting a heal on yourself?
That could also work too.
Because that takes up a slot that is going to be used for my next turn.
Yeah, I'd use the potion then if you're not playing on anything else big, because you don't have LOS to it. So.
True. All right. What do I roll for the potion?
All right, I believe.
It's a 2d4 plus 2 if it's a little one.
Yeah, so 2d4 plus 2.
Plus 2. Great.
Hey, 4 hit
natural
points
ones.
is 4 hit points is still better than not 4 hit points.
Hey, you're at level 1.
Especially at our level.
Yeah, 4 hit points is about half my hit point pool, so I wouldn't.
Same here.
All right, so I'm back up.
1/3 of mine.
I'm not saying my number because it's still really low. I'm back up.
Its turn. The kobold leader has his mount take the dash action.
Ooh,
Oh,
I don't.
Oh,
I
no.
don't have to-
Oh, no.
He ends up right here,
No.
and he
Yes.
takes a stab at Arshkul. And it just clangs pathetically off. Arshkul, it's your turn. Do you avert your eyes?
Is the creature charging this way?
It is in front of you. Just do you avert your eyes?
it just attacked you.
The kobold did.
The kobold on his back just attacked you, but this thing is just looking at each of you. Do you avert your eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I have no good I need to do a blind spell. I'm just gonna try to stab him while I'm not looking.
All right, disadvantage. Are you attacking the kobold on top or the creature?
Kobold.
That hits.
As well as an 18 to hit, and for 6 damage.
And you just not even looking, you just take your blade and just blindly slash, and just its head just off. And
You are an unworthy
the helmet
sacrifice.
goes clattering. The helmet goes clattering. The shield and spear drop, and it just.
Oh, wait.
What?
It's dead already?
We ran out of kobolds.
Yeah, the kobold's dead.
Oh, boy.
The kobold leader is dead.
Oh no! Who are we
That
gonna?
is- That's what I'm asking.
interrogate now?
You just killed the kobold that was riding on top of this lizard. Yeah.
Oh.
Dahlia.
I just want everyone to be aware, the reason it dealt 6 damage is because Arashkul is using a dagger. We daggered the kobold leader to death on the first attack.
Yeah. Dahlia, your turn.
I'll deal with these ones. Instantly died.
Don't look a gift
Dahlia!
kobold in the mouth.
Dahlia's a little shocked by this, and she's not really close enough to get to the hexapod without setting everything else on fire. Because there's a lot of piles of wood between it and her, so she just kind of goes to the opposite. Oh my god. There's nobody left to intimidate. She goes to the corner of the building to wait and see if anybody else shows up.
Okay. Tsunya, do you avert your eyes?
Yes, she ducks down behind the logs.
Okay. What do you do? Do you do anything?
No,
Do you
she's
take
going.
a blind
she's
shot
going,
at it? Okay.
I really couldn't. I suppose I would take it at disadvantage, kind of reach the bow up over and try to take a blind shot.
Yeah. You could
But
take a blind shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd definitely be at disadvantage. So let's see what I roll. No, a 15.
Yeah,
and a
it
6
goes
doesn't.
wide. The other kobolds disappear into the forest. Dane, do you avert your gaze?
He was looking in the other direction to start with. As soon as he heard that giant thing behind him, however, no, he ain't looking at crud. He's going to move around to the behind these log piles and into the graveyard. I'm going to take the hide action if that's possible.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me a stealth check.
This is where I look at my rogue and hope I put points in stealth. That is a 23.
You
Where did
no
he
longer
go?
exist.
Where did he go?
He
Okay,
poofed.
so you're at a 23. All right. Marty, do you avert your gaze?
Here's a question for you. I'm behind minor illusion. Can it see me?
No, it does not have a direct line of sight on you, so no, it can't. So you...
My box is coming in clutch. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on it, and it is under my Hex spell.
Okay.
That is a 23 to hit with 14 total damage.
Stennis.
Just one. Can I see the basilisk from here?
Yes.
Yes. Then I am going to command it.
Okay.
I am going to yell in Draconic, flee. And I have to roll something for that, don't I?
He has to
I
do
have
a
no
wisdom
idea.
save, and he rolled a 14 against your 13, so he succeeded.
Ah, dang. It is 13 against my DC save, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. On the creature's turn, you hear it. You hear this fleshy shifting sound, and then one footstep and a second footstep. Arshkul, you feel 4 arms grab you as it tries to bite you.
Rude.
A 13 misses. It just chews on your armor, and you're just feeling this like nasty saliva.
Oh, Stannis, get the camera.
I think we're gonna be friends.
Arshkul.
So as he's gnawing on me,
Yeah.
if I'm not looking at him, do I have any additional chance to hit him? Do I still have disadvantage to stab him when he's gnawing on my...
I would say it's still disadvantage because if you look at him at all, you're going to have to make.
Well, phooey. In that case, he has been injured, right? That Eldritch Blast did smack him.
He did get hit by the Eldritch Blast.
In that case, Arshkul is going to shout out a prayer to Zolnemus, and he's going to try and infest the creature's wounds with disease. I'm going to cast Putrefy. So that would be DC 13, or he takes 8 damage from the 1d12.
You must be able to see a creature to use Toll the Dead.
Alas. In that case, I'm just going to try to stab him again.
Okay.
Because it worked so well before. Nope.
You feel the blade scrape, and you can't see the blade hit, but you can see sparks flying off of it as the blade rakes across, but you're not feeling any, like, give. It's like you're scraping it across, a...
Alright, then I'm going to also use a bonus action to cast Healing Word on who used my last slot. That's what, 1d4 plus 2?
1d4 plus your wisdom mod.
Fantastic. This is 1d4 plus 3. So Stannis regains 5.
Okay. So, yeah.
She's going to retreat. She has her back to it at the moment. She will turn with her eyes
Oh,
closed.
sorry. I skipped over Dahlia.
Oh, okay.
So.
It's okay, you can retreat before I do anything. In fact, it's probably a good idea.
All right, Dahlia, what you up to?
She can hold her action until I retreat.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold a firebolt until she retreats.
Okay, Zunia. Okay, now it's Zunia's turn. Zunia retreats. That triggers Dahlia. So Dahlia. It goes wide.
Oh no! Does it hit something?
It goes wide and then just slams into the grass.
Okay.
It flies off into the forest, and a few
All right.
minutes later, you see a column of smoke rising in the distance.
Dahlia, for half a second, Dahlia looks absolutely horrified that it went wide, but then when it poofs harmlessly into the grass grasp, she relaxes a little. It's like,
the thing that you're seeing, Dahlia, because you and Stannis are the ones that are looking at this. You're seeing this thing on two legs, and its arms are not
I
like.
can see it too.
Yeah. What you saw, Marty, specifically because you saw it stand up. It is standing on two legs like a biped, and it's the four front arms are now like legitimate humanoid arms.
Okay.
So, but this is not how it looked before. When it came out, it was kind of like a Komodo dragon with 6 legs. Now it's, I mean, Pokemon-wise, it's kind of like a Machamp. It's got two
Jesus
legs,
Christ.
4 arms, and spikes.
So since my turn's coming up, then I believe next.
Sunya, you can still get your action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she is going to fire her longbow, although she is very doubtful this is going to do any damage even if it hits. But she is going to swing around, close her eyes, and fire blindly. 10 would not hit, I assume.
Yeah, it goes wide as well. Dane.
Dana's going to collect his thoughts for a moment. In all the history he's read, does he have any knowledge on this kind of...
Go ahead and give me. You're looking at history specifically.
Yeah, history.
Yeah, give me history. Give me a history check.
Dane's on an 11.
Yeah, you've never heard of anything like this. Like, you've heard of basilisks, but you haven't heard of any that are walking around on two.
Well, more like legends, like history, like how people like fight them.
Oh, how people fight basilisks. Traditionally, in the stories that you've heard, they
don't. Oh, great.
They don't. They generally they're intentionally avoided.
Right.
The one there was one legend that you heard of once of somebody like hiding behind a mirror or a really shiny shield, and that seemed to work for them. But you're not sure of any of the other specifics. If there was something special about the shield or the mirror.
And so Dane is going to then, after he takes a moment to think, he just peeks around and tries to take a sneak attack shot on the thing from behind. Do I have advantage on this, or?
You would not have advantage, but if it does hit, you would get sneak attack.
That is a 17.
Your arrow, your bolt, you take the shot, the bolt flies towards it, and then the bolt also, just like the arrows, shatters against it.
Alright, so he just drops the crossbow at that point and like starts digging through his bag to try to find anything else.
Marty
is going to take a second to appreciate the fact that he's the only person who can look at this thing without recompense. And then he's going to blast it with Eldritch Fury.
That hits.
Not great damage, though.
Stannis.
Better damage than we've been doing.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast. This thing has disadvantage on dexterity, right?
Dexterity checks, not saves.
Oh, so my Sacred Flame wouldn't have that kind of advantage. Oh no, that is a dexterity check. Never mind. Yeah, I'll go ahead Sacred Flame, and then I'm gonna scurry behind the thing. DC 13 or take 2 damage.
That's a fail, and he does take the 2.
I'm slightly useful now.
Its turn. It's going to try again and try to take a huge bite out of Arshgul.
Rude.
That's going to be a 17.
Nope. 18.
Nope. And it like what you're feeling is like you actually feel its jaws kind of dent into the armor that you've got, but it's not piercing through it. And then it pulls back, and it starts making its way back towards the woods.
So as it's retreating, do I, one, get an attack of opportunity, and two, is it still watching me as it retreats?
You would get an attack of opportunity, and one of your friends could call out that it's looking towards the forest.
In that case, I'm going to stab it.
Okay.
I could call out that it's
The
going
blade hits, and you just feel that sparking, scraping sound. So like it hits, and then there's just it's like running your blade across stone.
Oh,
I think this thing might be immune to non-magical damage.
Okay, that happened.
All right, first, cool. It's your turn.
Arshkul, who's now able to look at this blasted thing, is going to try to again putrefy its wounds with putrefy, aka Toll the Dead.
That's a fail, so he takes 6. And this time, it does seem to take effect, and you're seeing it kind of twist a bit as it howls out.
And then Arshkul is just going to saunter up and keep.
Oh, okay.
let it go!
Let it
Let it
go.
go.
Else than this.
Dahlia?
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, easily within range. She's gonna cast another firebolt at the thing.
Ooh, 18.
That'll hit. Alright. Sunya.
She's pretty sure that it won't have an effect, but with it facing away, she's at least going to try to get a hit to see what kind of damage she gets. So she fires one more arrow in normal conditions. So 11.
Goes
Still
wide.
not good.
Unfortunately. Dane.
Dane looks over and sees this thing is running, and he can't hurt it currently, so he will simply go ahead and skulk back over to the woodpile. And so the kobold leader fell off, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to skulk back over to the woodpile and just make sure the kobold leader is down and out.
Yeah, you go over there like its head is off. It's quite
He
dead.
decapitated it with a dagger?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this thing
It's a
is
kobold.
totally dead.
Yeah, Dane's gonna go ahead and nudge it once, and then sit against the woodpile and reload the cross.
It's Arshkul. Marty is debating between letting this thing go so we can track it back to its lair, or just killing it now.
Track it back to its lair?
Kill it now so that the witch doesn't have this on its side.
And I think I'm just gonna try to kill it now. With 1 force damage.
I mean,
I'm rolling
damage?
really poorly
That's
with
4
damage tonight.
Stannis.
4 damage is 4 damage.
I'm gonna go. Well, here. Let's make sure I'm gonna try to go my full 25 feet because I'm gonna try and chase this thing down as well. So I'm gonna go up to there. And Sacred Flame. Or wait, I could use up my last slot to command it. It didn't work last time, but I could command it to like stop or come back or something like that. Do we want to do that?
5.
Well, I mean,
4.
all right, Sacred Flame, Sacred Flame, Sacred Flame. As soon as I find it, there we go. Sacred Flame, DC 13, or take 3 damage
He got an 18.
with disadvantage.
It's only
why
on
would he
dexterity
have-
checks, not saves.
Well,
Yeah.
it's dexterity check though, right?
Well, it's a
No,
save.
yours is yours is running a dexterity save. He has to roll. He has to roll a dexterity save. Hex only does checks. So, like, if he had to
Okay.
do an acrobatics check, yeah.
All right, now it makes more sense.
The creature stops, turns, and then stares at Arshkul.
Oh
and
no!
goes to take a bite.
Oh no!
21 to hit.
So
That hits.
Well, by our
long,
school.
It's been good
Okay.
to know you.
Marty sees
That'll
this
be
happen.
13 piercing damage.
That felt like there was something else coming after that.
And
There is.
There's poison
Yeah, I
damage
need-
too. I'm calling it now.
yeah, 4 poison damage.
All right, Archtool is down,
I need you to
Aren't
give
you an
me a Constitution saving throw.
but I'm down. Oh, wait, no, I'm an orc. Do I
Yeah,
have
you're an orc.
less
You can
endurance?
pop back up. Yeah.
I do. So I'm back
I
up
need
with
you
1 HP.
I need you to give me a Constitution save.
So real quick, do I take the 13, then fall, then the poison, then my less endurance brings me back to 1, then the poison?
I consider it all from one attack.
Okay,
so I
so
don't
I'm
split
at
the damage.
1, and then I need to do a con
You're at
save for
1.
his stereo.
Yeah, you do a con save.
I'm stoned.
You are not stone. You
Ah.
feel something course through your body, and then then you see this thing smile at you. Like there's this moment of it's looking right at you, but it's not forcing you to make a change. And then you just hear it whisper, "Join me," and then it turns and runs back towards the woods.
Is running back towards the woods.
So you
I'm going to stab it.
you get an attack of opportunity.
No.
Think.
How the hell is he still standing?
All right, you know what's gonna happen again? I'm gonna drop a. Is he's no longer looking at me? I assume.
No, he's watching where he's running, basically.
And I presume that in terms of that was basically a fallen.
You don't know what
join
this,
me.
You don't know what this.
All right, I'm gonna use Toll the Dead / Putrefy. Try to spread some more disease through him. Come on, 10 damage.
Fail.
And then he dead.
He is still up.
Yeah, no, he's not dropping.
So my question is: are you pursuing him into the woods?
We don't want him getting back to the witch.
So you're pursuing him through the woods?
I mean,
over the
I am if everyone else is. I'm not fast enough to keep up with it.
In that
Yeah.
case,
I will say it's about 10 o'clock at night in the Grimshaw.
But we do know that the other kobolds had fled.
Yeah, the other kobolds had fled. As far as you've seen, there are no kobolds that made it into the village.
Soon y'all will call out, "We've defended the village for now. Let us pull back."
We can't let this thing get back to the witch.
It already
can't fight it.
has. It's too far ahead of us.
We can't fight it in the Grimshaws at night. That's going to end very badly.
how injured does it look?
He's got wounds all over the place. It's very hard because this entire time you haven't gotten a solid look at it.
None of our regular weapons have harmed this thing at all. It is going to take a long time to kill it, and it will escape. We need to prepare for its return.
Our school won't pursue.
Yeah, I'm not fast enough to pursue anyway, so I'm not.
All right.
You know what? Never mind. I lie. He's going to pursue. Advance.
I
it.
am gonna follow him.
I'm sorry. Fun it.
Oh my god.
I'm following him.
I'm so happy right now.
Are you kidding me?
He's an agent of the fallen. He must die.
Let's finish this. Dahlia, your turn.
We can at least keep firebolting him, but this is a terrible plan.
Oh, that's a great plan.
While saying "Are you kidding me?" she shoots another firebolt at the thing
Come on, tasty.
because that
fruit.
seems to be working.
Does not work that time. It goes wide and hits and goes into the woods, and you're not entirely sure where in the woods it ends up.
Now she looks like she's going to die because she's terrified that she just started a forest fire.
Sunya.
Sunya shakes her head and you hear a growl come out of her throat, and she takes off running because Ashkul is following this thing. She has no choice but to defend her comrade. So she does a full dash action. Let me... She has no further action because she used her action to dash.
Okay. Dane.
Dane cannot hurt this thing. He's gonna rifle through the kobold leader's pockets to try to find some kind of command stone, magic item, something that's been guiding.
Give me an investigation check. And then we'll go to Marty.
That is a 17.
Okay, we'll just keep that in mind.
Sure.
Okay, Marty is going to cast Object Blast.
Okay. That'll hit.
With terrible damage again.
Hey, 5 is still more than 0.
Stannis.
I am moving forward. Let me make sure I'm not going over my 25. There it was. We'll say right there is probably as far as I can get.
Yeah, you're running along the wood.
Yep, I'm gonna yell, Arshkul, get back here! You're not strong enough to fight it on your own! And I'm gonna yell, throw out a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
DC 13 or 3 damage.
Why do I have
Rolled a
pictures
16.
of Han Solo running in yelling?
The creature rears back and tries to just flat out punch Arshkul in the
Just deck him.
natural 1.
Yes!
Rip!
And then he keeps charging off into the forest.
So I'm going to take my opportunity attack.
So hold on one moment. I need to
See,
rearrange.
like, I missed anyway.
Okay.
So then
Alright,
he
Herschel.
moves.
Yeah, he moves. So he goes.
Could I have taken my movement to jump off the roof?
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
15.
All right, you take 1 damage.
I'm okay with that.
Give me a Constitution saving throw for Hex.
Oh! It's DC 10. You should be fine.
I'll have a +6, so
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
pretty fine.
Okay, so we're
It's
Mike
just a
Arshkul.
compound fracture.
Arshkul.
He died. It's okay.
Rip Arshkul.
Okay.
Rest in pepperonis.
I guess we're at Dahlia.
Oh, if that's all, then did it hit?
No, he got a natural 1.
No, did my
your
future
attack? Oh, yeah. Your attack scraped across him. He's still alive.
Wait, did you throw another putrefy or?
Yeah, I hit him with Toll the Dead.
I don't
oh,
see
there.
it.
Oh, I
there.
didn't see that total. Okay, yeah. So he's to do the attack. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm just seeing attacks from you and just.
Sorry, I'm not sure why.
Technical difficulty.
That's an 18, so he succeeded.
And then Arshul is going to fall back.
Okay. Zunya,
With
Dahlia.
relief,
I keep doing this.
And he's married to me, I swear.
Oh.
All right.
which is why he
Dahlia.
can't flip you.
Dahlia looks both ways as if crossing a busy highway, and then scurries over to Dane and whispers, "I think I may have started a forest fire."
With relief as she sees Ashkul pull back, Zunya also pulls back.
Okay. All right, Dane. So as you've been rooting through this corpse, you see the helmet. It looks like it was made of like just tree bark and dipped in like painted silver. The spear is very crappy made. Like it's just a big stick basically. It probably like your silverware probably hurts more. And the shield is similarly just a piece of junk metal that's been hammered into a particular shape.
So there's nothing on this guy. He was just riding around on top of the basilisk like some.
He was just It looks like he was. As you're looking at this thing, you're like, this guy was just fucking there.
Funning there. Thank you. Yeah. So
Ducking.
Dane looks up at Dahlia, like kind of gives a shrug for a moment, and then kicks the corpse once and stands. This is not what I was expecting.
What is it? What was going on?
I'm gonna let everyone else take their actions because we still have initiative until it disappears.
Yeah. Is anybody pursuing the creature?
Not pursuing it, but
No.
I'm pursuing our school right now.
Okay.
I'll
then
throw, if I have the
nobody
opportunity to, I'll throw off another Toll of the Dead, but no, I'm not going to pursue.
by the time you get another Toll of the Dead, he'll be out of range and out of eyesight. So we'll
Unless
go ahead
Marty and
just-
Stannis kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Open
know.
fire.
Pretty decent damage.
Another 11.
You know what?
Really?
That'll do it.
Oh!
Really?
Oh!
I
Man!
was thinking I just needed to stay in range of it for long.
How do you want? Yep. If you take that one more shot, he's going to be within range long enough.
Yeah, I just read over his shoulder, and that is 100% true.
How do you want to manage?
Again, no theatrics, just boosh. It's just a hole in the back of its head.
There's just a hole in the back of its head. Its jaw opens up, and then you see it just slam into the ground.
Marty, when did you get so effective?
Easy, effective.
Backhanded comment.
Arshul just limps back to the party.
Yeah, I move up to our school and I'm gonna give him a cure wounds.
How many
Our
spells?
school-
How many spell slots do you have?
I get 2 slots,
Two
and
slots.
I use
You used-
one for
you-
command.
Used command twice. Didn't
I
you?
used command once.
Because
Okay.
he was debilitating and then...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was
debating
deciding
not to
between
vote it.
command or guiding bolt, and then you started the countdown. Like, nope, sacred flame.
All
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure wounds.
Our school, did you happen to notice that any of the woods were on
It's
fire?
not working.
I was more concerned with my prey.
Okay,
No.
okay.
If you did set the forest on fire, I wouldn't be heartbroken.
I just don't want to
Dane, that thing was a little interesting.
We should go check it and make sure it's dead.
Yes, but I'm not nearly strong enough to pull that thing out of the forest.
I'm
Team
not
right at
effort,
all.
then.
So we'll pick that up next time.
Literally.
Yes, because it's late.
So it's because we're way past time.
Victory Screech.
We are going to be off next week though because of Thanksgiving.
Huzzah!
But we will be back on the 1st. join us back on this Twitch channel tomorrow night for Crone's Crucible. And we will see you all back on the 1st.
And if you want a recap of tonight's episode, you can go to mirrorrecaps.tumblr.com. That is MYRRRECAPS.tumblr.com. And this recap should be up by Tuesday night at the latest.
And
I don't have anything to say here. I just wanted to say
coming
hi.
up as well. So we'll say goodnight.
We can add the link to the description.
Bye.